Galilean mountains. This is what is called Lower Galilee. Lower Galilee. These mountains are about 400 meters above sea level. Okay? And then, can you see a city on top of the mountain?
Yes.
Okay? That is what is called Upper Galilee. Okay? And those mountains are about 900 meters above sea level. Okay? And that is the territory of Naphtali. Okay? Who was Naphtali? One of the sons of Jacob. Okay? So that is territory of Naphtali over there. And if you like, Tiberias and all that area in that direction is actually territory of Zebulun. Okay? This is actually the northwest corner of the Sea of Galilee. And Jesus centered his ministry on the northwest corner of the Sea of Galilee. And we'll look at why that was the case later on. Okay? Now, if you go in that direction, you're going north. Okay? So after the Upper Galilee, you have Lebanon. Yeah? Okay? So we are actually bordering Lebanon. Israel is bordering Lebanon. All right? Okay, so now you're going to the other side. So look at me, that way. And those are which mountains? You remember? The Golan Heights. Very good, you're going ahead of me. So these are Bashan. These are the mountains of Bashan. Remember that King David said in the Psalms, God dwells in Bashan. Okay? He must have had an encounter with God in the mountains of Bashan. Okay? Now, the north part of the mountains of Bashan at the time of Jesus was the territory of Herod Philip. Okay? And the left side of this area, the Galilee, Lower Galilee and the Upper Galilee, in the time of Jesus, was the territory of Herod Antipas. Okay? Now, if we go to the Golan Heights, okay, we go to the south of the Golan Heights, okay, over there, that was where the Decapolis was, where Gadara was. Do you remember the demoniac?
Yeah.
Okay? It's in that direction. Okay? Because Jesus was centering his ministry on the northwest corner of Sea of Galilee, when he said to his disciples, let's go to the other side, okay, he would go either to the territory of Herod Philip or the Decapolis. Okay? And the demoniac was in Gadara, which was part of the Decapolis. One of the cities was the Decapolis. Okay? All right. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you something else. I need somebody to hold them up. And the Golan Heights, the land of Bashan, is also in ancient times the territory of Manasseh, or Manasseh. I don't know how you pronounce it. Manasseh. Okay? All right. Okay. So you can actually see here the Sea of Galilee. Okay? Can you tell me one of the names of the Sea of Galilee? Who can tell me? Lake Tiberias. Very good. What's the other name?
Lake of Nazareth.
Lake
Nazareth.
Gennesaret. Very good. What's the surname? Third name? Sea of Galilee. Come on, guys. Why is it called Sea of Galilee? Why is sea?
Yum.
Yum yum. What does yum mean? Big mass of water. So it could be a lake or it could be a sea, yeah? And it was translated as sea. Okay, very good. What's the Hebrew name for it? Kinneret. Very good. Kinneret. What does kinor means in ancient Hebrew? In modern Hebrew, it means a violin. In ancient Hebrew, it means an harp. Yeah? Why? Because the shape of the lake actually looks like an harp. Yeah? Remember the harp of David? Yeah? Okay? All right. So you know that in the Sea of Galilee, there was a massive storm. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was at nighttime. What was Jesus doing when the storm was?
Resting, he was so tired.
He was sleeping. And you know, the waves here in the Sea of Galilee can reach up to 3 meters tall, 2.5 meters, 3 meters tall. It can literally topple a boat. Now, how can it be that in this little lake you can have such massive storms? Yeah? Because generally lakes are very peaceful, isn't that right? Not this lake. And let me show you why that is the case, okay? Now, the rain, the wind, and the storms and everything else comes from the Mediterranean Sea inland. Why is that? Because the Sea of Galilee is a smaller amount of water, and the Mediterranean Sea, is a larger amount of water. What does that mean? That the Sea of Galilee either cools down faster or warms up faster because there's less water. Can you see that? Yeah. And that means that there is a difference in pressure. Different seas, they will have different pressure, and therefore when there is a difference in pressure, the wind comes in to balance the pressure. Yeah, do you follow me? Yeah. Okay, so what's happening is that generally at night time, wind comes into the sea. You have the Naphtali area here, which is Upper Galilee, which is mountainous. Then you have Mount Carmel here, okay, and you have mountains, the Central Mountains. This is a valley. This is the Jezreel Valley. And amongst the Jezreel Valley, you have many different little mountains, okay, which is a lower Galilee. So what happens is the wind comes into the valley and it takes force. It siphons in between the mountains. It takes force. And then it comes down to the Sea of Galilee. And you can see the Sea of Galilee is surrounded by mountains. And you see it has to go down 220 meters below sea level, yeah? So the wind comes in, it goes down, is surrounded by mountains, and the wind starts to go around. And then you have a massive storm, okay? Today we can determine when the storms are coming, and therefore nobody's on the Sea of Galilee. In those days, there was no way of determining when the wind was coming, yeah? And of course, the disciples were screaming their heads off. Okay, they were terrified that the boat is going to topple. Yeah, and what was Jesus doing? Sleeping. And what do the disciples say to Jesus? For goodness sake, don't you care about us? Wake up, do something. What did Jesus say? What did Jesus say? Yeah, I could imagine him being exhausted and being woken up by people shouting, and he go, for goodness sake, why do you wake me up? You know, you are fleet of faith. Yeah, crazy things, okay? So what did Jesus do? What did Jesus do? He says what? Be still. Okay, shalom. Shalom. Yeah, peace. Yeah, be still. Yeah, and what happened? And what happened? Immediately. Immediately. And the disciples receive a, how can I say, a revelation. Who's this guy that can talk to the wind and the rain and he listens to him? How can it be? Who's this guy? Yeah. And they receive a revelation of who Jesus is. How many times the Lord have to say to us, be still. Amen. Shalom. Yeah. How many storms have we had in our hearts? And the Lord have to calm us down. And one word of him is enough, right? Amen. Amen. Okay.